The Resident Evil 6 complete pack is on sale. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do a Resident Evil tier list here. I don't know, I figure I'll probably do another one update in the future when I've played more of the games. Can I reset this at all? Yeah, reset this. So now I go over a little bit of a tier list. I'll probably take a little break depending on what I'm planning here, but yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of a, because I've been playing a lot of the games and I figure why not. So properties, let me do boop. It's weird. Yeah, it looks fine. And just, yep. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a Resident Evil tier list. God dang, look at all those ads. Holy frick, it's probably fine. Actually, I feel like I should have this on for a moment. I'm worried. Alright. Yeah, we'll do it after this. Okay, so my Resident Evil tier list. Games I've played, I'll just be reviewing here. And I'll be doing it as a so far kind of thing. I'll probably do another one in the near future, but I'm just gonna do this for now because I can. So, start with Resident Evil Revelations 2. I did play this for a minute. I'll probably play this with Dragon a little bit later, but seems like it's pretty good so far with the co-op stuff. I'm not gonna rate it right now, but this one I've got some pretty good high hopes for. So that one will probably be a better part in this list in the future. As far as how we rate this, C will be average, you know, nothing spectacular. It's good for one playthrough. And so maybe not a lot of replay value or something like that. B is good. A is excellent. S is just like probably some of the most fun I've had in the series. So Resident Evil 7. The biggest problem, the biggest strength of this game is probably one of the most unique Resident Evil experiences. Do that first. It's one of the more unique ones. It's a first person. It really did a lot more of an exploration with a lot more of a lot better voice acting and very story driven. But as far as like a good game underneath, and I know a lot of the crapping on it I did was just because of the crapping on Resident Evil 6 for how long, and then this game comes out and everybody loves it for, you know, whatever reason. That's a lot of the dumping I had on the game. So there's probably a really good game underneath it, but because it's so gross for me, I just can't even handle looking at it, so a lot of the strengths don't work. This is also going to be a very subjective rating on this, because I'm not going to rate the games what I think they did for the series, because I still wouldn't put this one super high, because I wouldn't want this to set a staple for me, but and I'm not going to be in a figure on, like, what is objectively good for the series. So this is just totally subjective, but this is a D. I couldn't handle playing this more than a few hours, so it's just too gross. There's probably a really good game underneath there, but it attacks me in every way, just almost to make me mad. After people hated Resident Evil 6, this game comes out, it's like they just did everything possible to make me upset after liking Resident Evil 1 through 6. So Resident Evil 5, that is probably, I'm gonna put this one up pretty high. This one is really fun, particularly if you have a friend to play with, like my brother. It has a lot of memorable moments. It really builds up to the boulder sequence, I think. Very cinematic. The prime game for the cinematics of Resident Evil. Like, the most cinematic experience as far as I'm concerned. It's very action oriented, whereas 7 probably would be a good cinematic experience if you're into horror games. It's like Resident Evil 7 is a very good horror game. Unfortunately, that's not my thing. So for the cinematic experience, this is like cream of the crop. I don't know if I would put this S tier. It had a lot of replay value back in the day. I don't know how much I would go back and play it right now, but it's probably top A for me just for that. It has some fun gameplay. It is just over the top, and I really enjoy that. It's been a while since I played it, but I'm still going to put it top A tier. Outbreak series is one I'm going to try to play here soon, but I haven't played that one yet. I haven't played Umbrella Chronicles. may or may not give those a shot. We'll see. Resident Evil 3 Remake. It's good for a one-off. It doesn't give me a lot of reason to want to replay it a lot. It was fine. Dodge mechanics were kind of okay. Very Resident Evil Revelations 2 almost. So it's actually kind of weird. I don't know, it's okay. It's good for a one-off. It's like I don't really feel a big drive to play it a whole bunch. It's like a low B tier. I don't think I want to put it C tier. Like a low B tier. If I wasn't trying to play a bunch of other Resident Evils, I'd probably give it a lot more of a shot. So I'll put this one as a low B tier. Resident Evil the original. I played this one a long time ago. I don't remember how much I played this game. God, it's been so long. I know I played it a lot. So definitely probably hasn't aged as well as like a Resident Evil 2 original. I know I remember that one a lot more. I'm gonna put this one low, like on the A tier still. Like I remember playing it a lot, trying to replay it a lot. I probably had to borrow it to play it. Like I didn't have a lot of these games when they first came out, just because most games we played were like based on what the family wanted. So it was a lot more multiplayer games or games easier to pick up. But I remember borrowing this at some point. I will put it A tier just because I do remember trying to play it a few different ways. So Resident Evil 0, that's a weird one. I have never actually fully finished this game. I've seen my brother finish the game. I've played this multiple times. One time was on hard and I ran out of ammo and had to try to knife a tyrant to death. So pretty enjoyable. The cooperative play on it feels kind of... It feels like it adds clunkiness to it if you just want to kind of go through a smooth ride. So that can kind of be cumbersome depending on how we look at it. It's fine. Because of that, I'm probably put it... I don't know if I want to put it C or B. I feel like I want to put it C for now. I feel like if I could finish it, it'd probably be fine, but I'm going to put it C for now, just because I haven't finished it. I haven't felt the drive to finish it, so I need to blow my nose, actually. Holy cow. Alright. Resident Evil Nemesis. I haven't actually played this one yet. I feel like I have played it a little bit, but I don't remember. I feel like I might have borrowed it. Somebody played some of it, because there are some parts of it I do recall, but it's probably been so long if I did. I do have it on for GameCube right now, and probably one I'll be playing soon, but yeah, that one is yeah, I'm not gonna rate it for now, but that one will probably be one I'll try out here soon. Resident Evil Revelations. Probably, like, I had fun playing it a bit. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of, like, it doesn't make me want to replay it a lot. Raid mode sounds kind of fun, but I don't know, the final boss is kind of iffy. The bosses in general feel a little tanky, but not bad. Like, the final boss had a gimmick that I didn't quite realize. Had a little, you had to shoot him in the heart when he was about to hit you. Movement mechanics are alright. It worked fine. I didn't like the dodge mechanics in this one. It felt pretty clunky and weird. It's good for a one-off. It does have a lot of replay value, probably less than Resident Evil 3, but put it on a B tier. It was pretty fun. I do like the spooks it gave me, the tension it gave me with the trying to run around stuff. I didn't like parts where it actually felt like I needed to do dodging, because then I just wiggle my stick around, but I'll give it a B, like a little B tier. RE2 I haven't played on Umbrella Corps, or I don't even know what this one is actually. Alright, Umbrella Corps. No, I haven't played this one. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Probably my favorite one. Yeah, it's going S tier. I really enjoy trying to replay it. I've been trying to do some runs where I really try to push how fast I could do. I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff in it. I really like playing the hardcore mode, as frustrating and flustered I got because of the tension it would add. Trying to run around zombies, because, like, I'm human. I'm not, so it adds a lot of tension there and spookiness, because I know if I get grabbed, I'm in trouble. It like I really liked how much it added to that. Levels of how you can kind of maneuver better. The knife being pretty broken is kind of silly to me. Like you just run up to bosses and stab them, which helps with tanky bosses. The adjusted difficulty is absurd. Like it feels like I'm better off just picking up knives and running to bosses into them with it, and it's just I don't like that. It basically just it adds a level of like, hey, you want a YOLO? Why don't you just YOLO instead of actual survival, routing, resource management? But overall, it's been a lot of fun. The adjusted difficulty just shouldn't exist in the way it does. Like it could just not exist at all and be better, I feel. But definitely probably my favorite Resident Evil experience in a long time, especially if you want a single player experience. It's a good one for that. So one thing I should say about Resident Evil 5, that one's probably better with a friend, although having a partner, because I haven't played a single player in a long time, but felt like it was at least worthy of an A tier, but having a friend would definitely make that better. But yeah, Resident Evil 2 Remake, a lot like the modded randomizer stuff lends really well to it, so it's another reason I enjoy it. Operation Raccoon City. Oh, that's okay. This game was a lot of fun to play with my brother. My brother is actually plural. Had a lot of actually campaign stuff you can do. Is pretty broken and clunky and kind of iffy as a whole. The story is meh. But one thing I can say about Operation Raccoon City is that the little promotional trailer, like the one you can watch on Steam, matches really well with the gameplay, which just kind of blows my mind. Like Operation Raccoon City actually made a trailer. It's like, hey, let's take this gameplay and just embellish it a bit. And it's like everything going on is it like feels like what you're doing in the game. It's still ridiculous. Like your partner can get infected, turn into a zombie, come running at you, you rip off his entire face, and then you just get him back up and he's fine. Like, you know, pat him on the back. He's like, yeah, you're okay now. Even though he was infected, has no head, you just give him a little, you know, emotional encouragement. Makes no sense, is a lot of fun, had quite a bit of replay value, but because I don't think I would ever tolerate this as a single player experience, and I don't think I would ever go back to it for a single player experience, and I'm not sure how much I would go back to it again, it's probably gonna be a B tier. I would still put it over RE3 Remake, just because yeah, it still lends better to better replay value. So yeah, like RE3 Remake I might play it a little bit more, but it doesn't give me a lot of drive to finish it any more than once. So I also did RE3 Remake on hardcore, which might have been actually not a great idea. Like it's more action based, so it doesn't really lend well to the survival part, and I probably add layers of frustration with the bosses in there. Particularly the last one, it just felt clunky. So think about some of these Resident Evils, like the bosses feel kind of clunky, but and then they give the bosses a little bit too much health. But Resident Evil 2, I think I gotta put this S tier just for what I remember it for and how it really established the series for me. Resident Evil 2 with the different modes, a lot of replay value, some controls that actually aren't still that bad to this day. Things you can work around, make you feel human, but giving you ways to work up. The music is pretty good too, from what I remember. It's been a long time since I played it, but I think I can't not give it S tier for how I remember it. So yeah, this is going S tier. Maybe not my favorite, but when I played it, like I can't not put it there. Resident Evil Remake. Like I don't even really have much bad to say about this game. Like it's just like the biggest, like it like took Resident Evil 1 and improved on it just about every way. Add a lot of routing, a lot of resource management. I mean, obviously, if you play it on the easier difficulties, especially, you have enough bullets. But when you're trying to like do it for the first time, it can kind of push you to be like, how do I survive these situations? So, yeah, Resident Evil Remake, like definitely S tier. Lends well to a rando. I did some of those recently, so. Like, Remake is also S tier. I would probably put over Resident Evil 2 just because of the improvements it had. Like, the bosses don't overstay their welcome. As clunky as the controls are, the bosses overall aren't that bad. Like, they aren't super tanky, even though it kind of makes them feel kind of cheap to be all hyped up as what they are, but I don't know, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It doesn't like try to make you work with the mechanics it has and overdoes it. It just gives you a very good formula, and it works very well around it. It doesn't make the enemies obnoxious. It has so many memorable moments, from dodging hunters to dodging on the replays with the grenade zombie. What is it? Spencer Forrest, something like that. First time I hear him clunking around his grenades, and I'm like, what is that? And I figure it out as he's coming around that corner, and I run a circle around him as he's running a circle after me, and I run into the first room I can get out of there with. So very memorable moments like that. So RE4. Oh, this one is a weird one. Resident Evil 4 right now. I'm in a spot where if I played this game when it came out, it probably would have been fine. Again, I didn't play a lot of those because I needed to spend my own money on them. Wasn't super rich. We did things that the family would want to get more and stuff like that. So Resident Evil 4 took a backseat to that. Resident Evil 4 is in a spot where I've been like spoiled with the mechanics of Resident Evil 6. I've been fed the nostalgia with Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 1 Remake. I've been fed the cinematic of Resident Evil 5, and I've been given the hope of something in the future with Resident Evil Village. And Resident Evil 4 has been kind of tedious to finish. The controls are meh, they're probably great for back then. The areas are getting super monotonous. Like, I play it for 50 minutes at a time before I have to put it down. Like, I'm really trying to finish it just to kind of make sure I actually give it its proper dues. But like, it has been last time I opened it up, there was like another room with more enemies with crossbows, and they got their flails and their sticks. And I am just so getting bored with it. Like, a lot of the rooms start to feel very similar after a while, especially after the the variety of Resident Evil 6 and RE2 Remake controls, and like, I can't even, like, Resident Evil Revelations, it made me want to finish it. I will put 4 over 0 for now. Unfortunately, that's like, it's all right, but like, it's definitely been tarnished by my view of like a lot of the other games. I just played it at the wrong time. Resident Evil 4, if I played that so much longer, I'm sure it would have been fine, but I can't like objectively give it high praise right now because I don't have that. I'm not the right man for that job, so 4 is going here. Veronica and Survivor. I haven't played Veronica. It's another one I actually got to, so I'll be probably playing that at some point. I have I think it's the PlayStation 2 version. Survivor, I played a little bit as a kid. I didn't like the first person perspective of it. My brother played a lot more of that. One of my brothers played a lot more of that. He beat it a few times. Yeah, I never really got into the first person of it. I don't think I would, especially on the PlayStation controls. So I don't think I'm ever going to really review this one. I don't even know what game this is. This one right here. I don't know what game that is. Gaiden. I have never played Gaiden. I've seen what it is. It's like you're on a boat, you're top down, and then you go into like survivor type shoot 'em ups. But yeah, I'm probably not gonna play that one either. Outbreak is a series I will play at some point, possibly with my girlfriend, just cause. They're not super gory games, so that's part of the reason I like Resident Evil, and play with my girlfriend too. She's not big into gore, so we both like look at 7. It's just like, yeah, like I get past the point with Jack with the chainsaw scene, and I just feel physically just so unwell. Like, I feel nauseous. I was watching somebody else do a review on that, and I just like, I could see there's a good game in there, but like, I get to that point and I just don't feel well. It's just, there's so much going on. It's just barraging my senses. So yeah. Oh, my girlfriend responded now. Okay, that's what I figured. She might be getting up soon. So after this, I'll probably play some Resident Evil Revelations 2 with her. So, all right, Resident Evil 6. Okay, so Resident Evil 6 is bar none the best combat mechanics out of any of the series. Has a lot of replay value. has some modes that are like some people like more than others, but you can play the ones you want. Like if you like the Leon and Helena one, like you could play that. If you like the Jake and Cher one, you could play that one more. Like you're not stuck to playing one of the campaigns, one or the other. A lot of combat, a really fun mercenaries mode. I almost want to give it an S tier right here, but if I were to play this game for the first time, I would probably recommend it with a friend. It's a bit cumbersome to do the harder difficulties, especially by yourself. Like you can do it. It has some good skill ceiling or learning all the different techniques to get around enemies. Especially since like you might run out of ammo at times if you're not careful. Like you have to, especially on No Hope, it is a hard game at that point. Like you really need to focus on ammo management, utilizing your quick shots and everything like that. It's a hard game, a lot of content, a lot of skill ceiling. The pacing is weird. Story is all over the place, but not bad. I mean, it's definitely like Resident Evil 7 has like a pretty all over the place story, so like that's something they share in common. Like Resident Evil has definitely gone ham on the crazy story stuff, which is fine. I like that part. I just couldn't look at 7 enough to enjoy it, so I feel like putting it S tier right behind RE2. I just had a lot of replay value. I'm still going back to it, playing the veteran modes and trying my best to get through them. Would like to play with a lot more people if I could, but maybe play with my brother again, girlfriend, all that. It's definitely something you got to work up to it because it's not an easy game on the higher difficulty. So that's the thing. Like you need a friend to really get deep into this one, I think. So, but I'm still putting it S tier just because, yeah, it's been one of the most played games I've played. It's a lot of replay value, a lot of fun, flows really well between the sequences as much as some sections are meh. Probably the best bosses out of any Resident Evil, whereas some games, like, they can overstay their welcome pretty easy. So like no, some bosses are meh depending on your style, your preference, but as a whole, like, I never felt like I was just hammered in the head with boss fights. Snipers suck in this game. It's like there's still jank with the camera. It makes you focus your gun on stuff, so sometimes it's just like meh. It's kind of roping you around, but overall really fun experience that I actually want them to improve upon more, if anything, even on spin-off games like Revelations, but they didn't do that, so I'm sad about that. It's also why I disliked 7, because I didn't want them to do the Resident Evil 7 style over a 6. Alright, now the last one, Village. Village. Village has the same problems as 7 with the very tunnel vision view. Makes it hard to look at. An aesthetic that's better didn't make me not want to finish it. Replay value has been iffy. It has a very long intro sequence that is just a slog to just get through. It can make it pretty tedious. There's not a lot that I want to replay in it. There's sections in it that feel too much. It's a little bit too much emphasis on shooting gunny stuff. It didn't like make me feel horrible trying to finish. I mean, it did. It was like it legit just gave me heavy tunnel vision where I just couldn't tolerate it. Like, what one moment. Okay, I'm back. I'm typing over there. But yeah, Resident Evil Village, it at least didn't feel like it was super difficult to want to finish, unlike Resident Evil 4. That has been like a slog to get through. If anything, yeah, this plays far closer to like 7 as far as the intro goes. Like 7 has a pretty long intro. Apparently you can't skip any of that. It goes downhill past the second half. Whereas Village has like interspersed parts that just feel like they're different games in one. I don't know, I'm so torn on this game. It has like a cinematic sequence at the end actually that like actually helps alleviate my tunnel vision that built up so much. Like I'm so torn on this one. like the experience just got so exhausting by the end. I guess I put it down here, like a high C, like a low B, high C, but it just was like exhausting by the end. It's a first person game, it's tunnel vision. Like a big issue with these two games is like being first person, you give me a whole bunch of cutscenes, but like I'm just first person shooting, covering up my face and running around. Like there's not much I can feel like I'm engaged with the gameplay that much, especially when the cutscenes are just constantly snowballing on me. Like I lose my hand in this game and I'm like killing my estranged wife at the beginning, and then suddenly I'm just running around blocking my face. Like it has a weird amount of pacing that I just couldn't get into. I I just felt like I was mostly just running circles in this game. So, and the cutscenes were like having way more fun than I was. So yeah, that's like something I like about Resident Evil 6. Like at least I feel like I'm having fun, as much fun as the cutscenes, as ridiculous the cutscenes are. Like you get to do all the rolling and the shooting and all that. Same with 5 in its own way. 4 still in its own way. But like 4's cutscenes are just, it's like they're just so many metaphors between Leon and every enemy encounter. Like it's just, they have metaphor and analogy after metaphor and analogy. I just feel like Ashley is sitting back like, when are you guys gonna just get a room? Like seriously, when is the foreplay gonna end? Like there's no comprehend. If you gave that dialogue to somebody in an alternate language, you would have to develop an entirely different set of dialogue, and you wouldn't even have to work. You just idioms and just constant idioms for Resident Evil 4. Like they're just constantly just, it makes no sense in the grand scheme of things. Most of the cutscenes and dialogue, like it just doesn't even need to exist because it's just idioms and analogies and metaphors pinballed back and forth before you guys just start doing the weird shooties. Anyways, that's my tier list for now. We'll play more of these games in the future, like this one soon. Resident Evil Nemesis, Code Veronica, Revelations 2, Outbreak I want to try, probably this one too. Especially because I do like the kind of ones you can build up with skill trees. That's the thing about Operation Raccoon City also. You can do skill trees on it, so it's pretty fun replaying that a bit. You need a friend for that one though. I would not recommend this unless you have friends. Like I don't think I could go back to that one and play it by myself. I'm not sure if I could go back to it now and play it with other people, especially because other stuff I'd rather do, but still pretty fun. So that's my tier list. Yeah. That's all I'm doing for now. Dragon is up, so figured I'd just do that, see it until I heard from her. I'm gonna go Ray DT then. He's doing golf. That's my tier list, guys. If you wanna poop on me about it, feel free. I'll poop right back. Like, I played 7. I know all about poop.